Welcome back to another weekly raid boss, ladies and gentlemen. Zaura here, and today I'm going to talk about week 38. Now, for week 38, we have Demon Lord Marnox. It's going to be mutant type, dark attribute with no defensive armor. This is actually really good, by the way, so physical class or magic class won't have any problem. But here's come the problem. Dark attributes is weak against Holy. Holy going to give 50% damage boost against Dark, and Psychokinesis, which is 25%. Mutant types. Mutant type had 1.3 ratios for critical resistance. I did on the map a little bit, and I find that this boss has a lot of critical resistance, especially coming out from the weekly pattern scale. It's going to be 3000 flat on top of the boss critical resistance. We have root magic as well. Root magic is going to increase your character as well as the boss damage output. So what I do recommend is actually avoid getting this unless you have 4% damage boost. Don't let the boss have this, by the way, because if the boss manages to get a full stack of root magic, it's pretty terrifying. Now for the sandstorm, the boss is going to spin a cycling like a clockwise sandstorm. They're going to spin around. I personally find this very difficult because you actually have to run to a very specific corner to dodge the outer layers of the cyclone. If you get hit by the cyclone, it's going to follow you forever until it stops hitting you. So you might want to avoid that. So pretty straightforward. The boss can summon the 4 devil type monster. This guy have a lot of HP, by the way, and they did a lot of damage as well. Kill them as soon as possible. And lastly, we have Rock Slide. Rock Slide is technically like a multi-hit ability. He's gonna summon the multiple rock falling from the sky. And what you want to do is actually avoid it as much as possible. If you get hit by it, you can get a debuff that reduces your healing effect. But if you have HP Elixir, I don't think you need to worry about that one because this one will restore a good amount of HP for your character. Onto the equipment as well as a card. For the equipment, it's going to be full attack and set effect, full color line, divine retributions, as well as the full overlord ray anchor, which is really good for my builds. Now for the card, Demon Lord Monarch has 2 defensive attack, one is physical and the other is magic. You can always go for Memorial card, but I personally prefer Zaura card because I have huge amount of damage reduction coming out of bodies. For the green card, it's going to be Lucia for extra raw damage. For the red card, you always want to pick up the Cursed Devil Gloves, or you can always use the Unicorn one. I believe this one that gives extra damage against dark attribute. There it is. And then for the purple card, please use 3 Gazing Golem card because this boss has so many knockback. The only reason why I'm using one of them because the outer body has knockback immunity. Also, get a mid card as well if you can, but I don't think that really matters because this boss has so much critical resistance. I don't think it's even matter unless you have like 14,000 or 11,000 critical rate. And then lastly, legend card. I'm sorry, Demon Lord Marnox level 5 is going to give you a 10% minimum crit chance. It's really good, by the way, but I don't think that's really matter at this point because I'm not even landing a single critical attack. Well, maybe it feels throughout the runs, but God, it's just terrible. Look at this. Look at this. Look at my crit rate. It's 5,414. And yeah, the only thing that helped me to land critical attack is actually Demon Lord Marnox at the moment. Make sure you get your priest buff as well as your food buff. These are very helpful. Now, onto the next one is going to be CC and statue buffs. I recommend getting this all the time because it's so helpful. It gives you that percentage of HP as well as flat HP and extra movement speed. That 4 movement speed will help you to clear out the sandstorms personally because I didn't have enough movement speed to run around to deal with the sandstorm, but with the extra movement speed, it's always come in handy. Next is going to be the potions. Make sure to grab the Hero Retribution if you want to clear the contents only. The God of Retribution potion is going to give you the 100% damage boost for 10 seconds. It's always good if you want to do some ranking. And lastly, we have Leticia potions for the extra damage reduction against weekly raid boss. You can always get this on the market or you can get it from the Mercenary Bash shops. I don't recommend Mercenary Bash shop because it costs way too much. You better off just buying off on the market. Also, make sure to pick up the maintain buffs for extra raw damage for your weapon as well as your sub weapon. The maintain buffs with the letter R is really good as well. It's going to give you extra critical rates as well as extra damage. Alright, so for the enchant buff, you have a few options here. To be honest, the conversion from SPR to con is really good for mage builds. For the physical class, you're gonna go for the 10% increased buff duration. It's not useful, but it comes in pretty handy for the majority of the classes. If you have the low rate anchor, you definitely want to use that as well. And then lastly, we have 5% increased magic defense. It's not useful to be honest, but it is what it is because Demon Lord Monarch does have a magic attack and that's Flame Wall. Other than that, just choose the one that you feel fit for your build. Also, before we get into the videos or the fight of these videos, I'm not going to commentary on the fights specifically, but I do want to point a few things out about this boss. Demon Lord Marnox does have a fuse bursting ability. One of it is actually the shotgun one, which is what you see here. You can actually dodge this by jumping over it, which is pretty surprising. So do this all the time when you see Demon Lord Marnox charging up for the burst damage. The other ability is more like a flash match on the ground. Demon Lord Marnox kind of charge up, just slam on the ground. It does a lot of damage, by the way, because I actually got one shot in one of my run, and he only have 2 charges of brutal magic, by the way. So this is pretty broken. I'd recommend using your iframe skill or dodge it as soon as possible if you see him charging up.
막은